In the Unresolved Problem segment tonight, horrible crimes committed by illegal immigrants and how the media report them. That's the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. While major heinous crimes committed by illegal aliens occur regularly in the United States, including a recent horrifying gang rape of a 13-year-old little girl in Texas, the media and pro-immigration reform politicians have their sights trained on one comment made by Congressman Steve King of Iowa. Last week, when talking about the DREAM Act, he said this about illegal immigrants and crime at the border.
Some of them are valedictorians. Well, my answer to that is, and then, by the way, their parents brought them in. It wasn't their fault. It's true in some cases, but they aren't all valedictorians. They weren't all brought in by their parents. For everyone who's a valedictorian, there's another 100 out there that they weigh 130 pounds and they've got calves the size of cantaloupes because they're hauling 75 pounds of marijuana across the desert. Now,
for that comment, King received swift condemnation from both sides of the aisle, including from our Republican Speaker of the House, John Boehner, who called the comment hateful. Well, today on my radio show, I asked Congressman King if he regretted his remarks.
Will you apologize for this comment?
No, I won't do that, Laura. If I did that, that would further marginalize, and then that would be a confession that the statement that I made was wrong or inaccurate. I think it was an objective analysis. I did illustrate it the way it was described to me and the way I've seen it with my eyes. And so I would ask people, what happened to the age of reason?
Now, I wouldn't have worded my problem with the DREAM Act like King did, but the fact is, he exposed a familiar tactic of the open borders crowd. You cite some gleaming examples of successful young illegals while you ignore the indisputable truth about serious crimes our country continues to endure at the hands of young, mostly male, illegal immigrants. Now, I'm talking rape, murder, robbery, and, of course, drug trafficking. So why don't more reporters press for information regarding suspects' immigration status? I'll tell you why. Because most reporters are pro-amnesty. That's why. They know that publicizing these crimes would make the public way more skeptical about the current immigration reform efforts in Congress. So consider this story about yet another rape of a young teen in Alabama. Note the suspect only referred to as a Mexican man. Now, I'm going to say what few others will. There is a massive cover-up underway across mainstream media outlets regarding the viciousness and frequency of crimes committed by illegal immigrants. Representative Steve King may be over the top or even offensive to many in his phrasing, but that's hardly the point. What's truly offensive is when journalists and politicians shade the truth to push their own open borders agenda, leaving hardworking Americans and legal immigrants more vulnerable and less safe. And that's the memo.